Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we're talking about respiratory health in the workshop. Well, if any of you have been a viewer of the show for any length of time, you know that I am a big promoter of respiratory health in the workshop. There are so many tools that create quite a bit of dust, and we just neglect it. We put on our safety glasses, we put on our hearing protection, we put on our face shields, etc., but we seem to always forget the lungs. So that's what we're going to look at today. So coincidentally, I've had this on my list for quite some time to do, and then I got an email from Base Camp Mask, and they said, would you like to try our product? So I said, fantastic. What a great way to tie in a respiratory health show with testing out Base Camp's dust masks. So let's head over to the bench and see what they sent us out. So when I opened the package from Base Camp, I actually found inside two different styles of their dust mask. Now, one of them, that's this style right here. We'll put this one aside for now. But this style right here is their M+, and this has the straps that go over the top of your ears, and then an elastic adjustment strap that comes right around the back of your neck and then holds in place with a hook and loop system. It's quite a beefy hook and loop system and holds rather well. Not sure how it would hold up to being exposed to a ton of dust after a while, but I mean, that time will tell that, won't it? However, even if it does get dusty and doesn't stick as well anymore, the good thing about these Base Camp masks is that this mesh outer shell, this breathable mesh, is washable. So if this should get all screwed up with sawdust or dirty, or even just you're sweating on it from work or whatever, you can easily wash the outer shell. And you do that by removing your two one-way valve vents from the inside, and then this activated carbon filter then comes out, and these filters are actually replaceable. So this is the one style that they sent me out. The other style is their Base Camp M Cross. And what this has is a lower strap which goes around the back of your neck, and it's fully adjustable with these little toggle style clamps to hold it in place. And then it has the second strap, and this goes around the top of your head. Both of the masks, regardless of the style, have this adjustable nose piece, which has a piece of metal in it to keep it pliable and as well hold it in place. They both have the same washable mesh, which is breathable, and they both have the same removable one-way valves and the activated carbon filters. Now guys, the activated carbon filters, they come in replacement packs because of course dust masks do not last forever. None of them do. If you have one that's, say, for petroleum based in a respirator style, those cartridges have to be replaced. So this is kind of the cartridge, we'll call it, of the dust mask. This is what makes this mask work. Now, according to Base Camp, these masks will take out 99.6 of the particulates. Guys, if you ever see a mask that claims to take 100% out of your lungs, 100% out of the air that you breathe, they're lying. It is next to impossible to get 100% efficiency with a dust mask. There's too many variables. You have fit, you have facial hair if you're a man in the shop. You have the size of the particulate that you're dealing with. How many microns does your dust mask filter? So fit, the environment, the person it's wearing on, your facial features, the size of your face, everything changes the way that a dust mask works. So these are nice in the fact, it seems, that they seem to have a nice flexible fit. So why don't we try one of these on and see how it fits exactly? Well, we're going to start off with the M Cross because it's the style that I'm used to wearing normally. So we have the mask here, and Essentially, you want the mask to come just under your chin and then over the bridge of your nose. It needs to have a good fit all the way around. And if you're wearing a silicone style mask, any of you that have facial hair out there, it's useless to you. You cannot get a seal with facial hair. That's all there is to it. And the same holds true with a mask like this. However, with this particular style, with the cloth will embed around the whiskers on your face and can do a better job than just the silicone masks alone. So I've already pre-adjusted these straps, guys. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't. So all you want to do is place this over your face, get it in place around your chin and around the bridge of your nose. Now, as you can hear, you can probably still hear me. I'm not very muffled. So the first thing I want to do is take this strap around the top, and we're going to click this in place. Now, for my money, I would not be doing this every time. Because there's elastic here, I would just stretch it over my head. I wouldn't keep undoing and doing this up. And then we'll bring this next strap around, and the same thing. We're just going to click this into place. Just like that. Now, guys, it's a good fitting mask. The bridge of the nose seems to fit really well. It is adjustable, as I said. I've got a good tight fit all the way around here, around the base of my chins. Yes, I said chins. And I have a good fit here on the side of my face and up around the eye line. But one of the things that Basecamp masks claim is that because of the adjustable nose piece and the good fit around the base of the eyes, they won't steam up your glasses. Okay, that's kind of important to me because I wear glasses and I cannot see without them. Right now I'm looking at a very blurry camera. So let's throw my glasses on and see what happens. And just like that, I have sight. But do I have fog? Well, I haven't adjusted the nose piece yet. And if I breathe really, really heavy, I can get the air to come out the top and fog up my glasses. However, it's also about 6 degrees out here in the shop, 6 degrees C. So that plays a factor here. It is warming up. So we'll see how it goes once it warms up, and I'll let you know how the eyeglass fog thing works out. So I am going to wear this mask for the day in the shop while I'm working and see how it goes. And I will report back a little later and let you know exactly how the Basecamp mask made out here in the shop today. Okay, so I am 2 hours in wearing Basecamp's M-Cross mask. For starters, my glasses haven't fogged up not once. I made some adjustments to this band, plus it warmed up in the shop. That helps too. But I made some adjustments to the nose band to get a better seal across the nose, and that solved the problem. My glasses stopped fogging up 100%, which is great news. Also, I'm not overheated. My face isn't clammy. I purposely today didn't shave because I wanted to test these masks under different conditions. And one of them, of course, being what happens if you're not clean shaven. But I haven't been inhaling a bunch of dust as far as I can tell. Normally, when I'm inhaling the dust from the shop, I can tell. I can feel it in my throat. My chest feels heavy. I haven't had any of that so far today. 2 hours in, but I have been doing a lot of milling. One thing I noticed that is great about this mask that I'm loving so far is this. And that is the fact that my hearing protection fits over it with no issues whatsoever. I was able to run the planer and not have issues with higher decibel level tools. So now I'm protecting both my ears and my lungs at the same time. Guys, look at these clips. Look at the amount of dust that is coming off. Now, normally you don't see this because the dust kind of just blends in. So you don't really notice how much dust is flying around in the air. But when you put a little bit of a black backboard here like this, you can really see how much dust is going airborne. And it was actually one of my own videos that showed me how much dust is flying around the shop and how much you really need to have some kind of protection. If protection is not comfortable, guys, you're not going to use it. That's the way it is. If PPE is an uncomfortable thing to wear, you're not going to grab for it. If it is not convenient to you, and if it's not easy to both put on and access, you're not going to wear it. Easy access, and I'm 2 hours in, I'm comfortable. I don't have those telltale lines digging into my face around the edges here like what my normal silicone-based mask has. But so far, this one here, the M Cross, is a great lightweight mask, and I think for me, especially at the scroll saw, this is going to come in handy. Comfortable, lightweight, easy to use, and with that close proximity to the dust at the scroll saw, 99.6% particulate removal. So good call here. But let's try out the other one and see how we make out for the next couple hours, and I'll give you my feedback on that. All right, so it's been about 3 hours wearing this mask. There's dust all over the front of it, but that's from an extra long session over at the scroll saw. So guys, do I have a preference between the M Plus and the M Cross? Actually, yeah, I do. And I have to say that I prefer the M Cross. I find that both have pros and cons, but for prolonged wear, I find the M Cross a little more comfortable, and that's just my personal preference. It could have a lot to do with the shape of my face, the way it sits around my ears or on my head, and that's why PPE is so personal. If all of us like the same things, there wouldn't be any options. You'd have one, and that's what everybody would have. That's why there are different kinds and different makes and different series, different brands, that sort of thing. So for me, I honestly prefer the Cross, and I think the reason is that I like that top strap on the head that holds the whole mask up for me and keeps it in place while I'm working. Whereas I found that the M Plus, it kind of seemed to ride down on me. I'm not 100% sure why, but it just kept riding down. Mind you though, this one here, the M Plus, is so much easier to put on than the M Cross. So, I mean, it's personal preference here. Is the M Plus a bad mask? Heck no, I love it. I think it's great. But I think for me here in the shop, this one here is for shorter term use. Whereas the M Cross, if I was going to do another marathon 3-hour scroll saw session, I think I'd reach for the Cross rather than the Plus, just for comfort and just for fit. But for something, say like a quick job at the sander or that sort of thing, I think I would reach for this one just for its ease of putting it on. It's much quicker. It's a little less finicky than the two-strap method. Either way, guys, I really like these both. They've both done a great job for me here today. My glasses didn't fog up with either one. I like the way they fit. I like the way they work. I like the way that I can't taste the wood. And I know that sounds strange, but when you're working on a scroll saw, you don't realize that fine dust is getting everywhere. And you can taste it, at least I can. And as soon as I put on these masks, I no longer tasted it. So, guys, why wear a dust mask in the shop? It's quite simple. It's to protect yourself from the things that you may not know are there. And I'm not saying that you need to wear a mask constantly, but I want to show you something. Look at this here where I was working with the drill press today, using a Forstner bit to drill both 1-inch diameter holes and 1.25-inch diameter holes. And just look at the airborne dust that is going everywhere. And a lot of times we're working with this stuff and we don't see the dust that's in the air because we're concentrating on the project. Now, there are ways that you can avoid it. There are ways that you can help. One of them, of course, is one of these, an airborne dust collector. I have one right above my head. It gets used here in the shop. Another one is dust collection. But even with this, look at the bandsaw. I am using full-on dust collection here, and there is still dust flying and there's still airborne dust. And it doesn't matter if you're running an airborne collector or not. You are the first thing it goes through. You are the first thing that dust hits. So whether it be the drill press, the bandsaw, the thickness planer, whether it be the belt sander, the oscillating drum sander, the scroll saw, one of the most neglected tools in the shop when it comes to respiratory protection and PPE is the scroll saw. The one saw that has absolutely zero dust collection available for the most part. And we don't wear a mask. It's insane. You are causing yourself, in some cases, unrepairable harm to your lungs, to your body, to your respiratory system. And all it takes is one of these masks to help yourself. Now, it doesn't have to be one of the base camp masks. But guys, in my experience from today, you might want to give them a try. And there you have it. The base camp dust mask. Guys, these things are fantastic. I've really enjoyed working with these today. And while I did have a personal preference between the two models, that doesn't mean that the two models are not comparable. They both have that same activated carbon filter that's on the inside to keep that 99.6% of particles out of your lungs. Now, I have no way of testing that, so I can only go by the specifications of the mask. But I can tell you that from the personal tests I've given it in a full day of the shop, I don't taste that sawdust. I don't feel it. I don't feel the heaviness on my chest. And I've done a lot of dusty work today. Another thing I can tell you, and this is kind of a weird test, but do yourself a favor. If you're working with a wood like walnut or something darker, something that'll show, when you're done, go inside and just blow your nose and look in the Kleenex at how much of the wood is there, the color of the wood. It'll blow your mind, but with these masks, it was all clear. There was no dust to be had, and I worked with walnut the entire day. If you're not concerned about your respiratory health in the shop, then by all means, have at it. Go ahead and do as you please. But if you want to live a longer, healthier, happier life, and you want to have more days of being able to work in the workshop and be healthy and be able to breathe while you're out here, get yourself a dust mask and start wearing it. Regardless of the brand, start wearing your dust mask. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I don't mean to preach, but this is such an important aspect of our craft. I really want to thank Basecamp for sending me out these two masks today, plus all of the extra filters they sent me. It's fantastic. I love them. They're great. I recommend them, guys. Very comfortable, very easy to put on, and you don't even feel like you're wearing that dust mask, and which is a great thing. If it's comfortable and you don't feel like you're wearing it, you will wear it. So for things like long term, as I said, I prefer the Cross. You may prefer the Plus model. Check out their website at bcmask.com. I'll post the links down below to all of this stuff. They're so reasonable in the price, guys, and the benefits that they bring you are well worth the price. Like, it would be a bargain at double the price. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We've got a fantastic audience base here, and I honestly hope that you're going to consider becoming a part of that. I want to thank you again for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I hope you're going to consider some of these Basecamp masks for yourself, because they're a great little product. And more importantly, guys, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.